and welcome back to the Forged Alliance for Retard series with your host Nibolowski, bringing you some 4v4 action going down on Canis 4v4 special. My goodness, it has been quite a long time since I've put up a cast. Thank you so much to many loyal subscribers that have managed to stick with the cast over the past year or so. There's been quite a lot of big changes going on in my world, so I've not been able to do really any casts at all, which is a shame. But never mind, I am back to do a few more, and what better way to do it with some good old tasty mid to higher level action. But yeah, let's get right into it. Let's see what's going on at the top. If I get rid of that menu on the left there, and at the top there, at the top here, we're going to call these guys sort of Team 1, and at the bottom here, Team 2. So let's meet the players going on in white, going a Cybrin, first land, and the stereotypical power generator, which of course must be put down. It is Sui, or Sui, or Swy, but I'm going to call them Sue. I think Sui, possibly, but sounds an awful lot like Zooey, that does. So I'm just going to call him Sue for the game. Give him a nickname. Just to his right, going a fabulously disgusting yellow colour, going Aeon, is Music. Whether he's sick of listening to music, or music makes him sick, I don't know. But yes, he's gone first land as well, producing the same assortment of things you've come to expect. Just to his right is Kickass, also going Cybrin, and a lovely red colour. I think Cybrin should go red. It matches it quite well. And the last player at the top here at Team 1, Master Mandel. Related to Howie Mandel, we don't know, but he is gone UEF, which I'm sure Guile will be very proud to know that he's done. I do not have the same prejudices as Guile, though. So, in any case, down we go to Team 2 here, going a sort of a sunburnt orange colour. Again, also going Cybrin. First land is Sunbird. Just below him, sort of this very lime green kind of colour here, is Memph. I've been commented on quite a few times calling him Memph, putting in an extra M when I shouldn't. Memph. I will endeavour to call you Memph from the remainder of the game. Also going first land, not too unusual. To his right, the penultimate player is Captain Molly, and he or she not too sure, is gone Aeon, and first land as well. And last but not least, also joining in the Aeon club is Piscions. Piscions. That's what we'll call Piscions. Yes, indeed. Anyway, so bring it back up here, and then bring it back up to speed, because if we watch this on -6, we're going to be here for a while. Canis, for those of you who don't know, which I would be surprised, it is quite a popular map. Typical tactics involve streaming across here, and generally the second team tends to take this zone down here to the right, and sort of has a split, sort of, if we draw the line in the sand, sort of going up here, whereas Team 2 tend to dominate the larger area here, but the smaller area here, as it would, and you would come to expect, being mirrored and so in and so forth. What I've heard on this, or was read rather at the start there, we are looking at a potential land spam. I don't know whether we're actually part of the cast yet. I have had to watch these casts through just to make sure it's a good chunky bit of gameplay. I know definitely this one certainly is. But we have a spread going on from Memph, scouting out the typical left-hand area. It's actually quite interesting to see the spread of both sides. An early Mirage out from MuSick. But nothing too unusual in terms of tactics. We do have a Chariot coming out from Piscions. As to whether or not that's his real name, God only knows. Lordy, or no idea. But yes, indeed. It's a fair spread, actually, coming out from Sunbird, certainly in terms of unit production. If we have a sort of a look into his base, that is definitely the symptom of a land spam coming on. Mantis and there's such a few Sky Slammers out as well. My least favourite anti-air unit can't seem to hit a thing. We'll bring this back to just +1 now and actually get into the heart of the action. Our first sort of proper engagement on the land. You can see an attack ping going down between Sui, plagued with names, Typical Mantis battle music cleaning up the back of the field. We do have a Zeus out as well from Sui. One has already managed to reach the bottom here of Memph's base, which I'm sure he's not going to welcome. I think he has managed to tag a few engineers in the process, which has left his air factory uncompleted. And tags yet another one. He's got 2 veterans. He's got 6 kills on that Zeus, which is nothing to be ashamed of, most certainly. And it looks like Sui's taking some very early air control in terms of the bomber game. And generally the lines in the sand being created. Nice little run by here as well. A few spread of units stopping this land factory from Captain Molly going up. Master Mandel making sure that the expansion is halted. Generally speaking, if you can, as this team, lock down one side and the sort of the quadrant that's nearest to your bases, you generally do hold the advantage just in terms of resources. Memph showing the way. I said 167 mass, which I doubt. But certainly it's got the highest score, getting involved in most of the conflicts. Certainly the highest land presence here. Definitely the land spam. Goodness me, Sunbird is churning out units at the rate of knots. So he's trying to meet the threat at the moment. He does have a commander in the form of MuSick, sort of stacking up behind the march of the Mantis coming over the hill. Unfortunately, I don't think that PD is going to manage to survive. I think we've got a fairly clear understanding at the moment of where is where, what is what. Team 2 going down on Memphi's commander, who's actually over here on the left-hand side. Mantis exchanging fire on both sides. But we do actually have a commander here in the form of Sunbird. Interestingly enough, Memph is pulling up at this pretty much the same time. So we do have 2 commanders apiece on this side. Looks like actually everybody has their commanders on the front line. Captain Molly deciding, would you call that a front line? Pretty much. A little further back on Captain Molly. So we do have really 2 engagements at the moment, happening in the form of Sui holding off Memph and Sunbird. And up here at the top, Kickass sort of looking up at Pissions on his ledge. Captain Molly has to be careful. Just give support, otherwise Piston's going to find himself fairly isolated. There is a move command here coming out. They slow this down ever so slightly, just to real time and real speed. What they have to be careful of here is, goodness me, when you put it down to real speed, it shows you how slow everything really is. Master Mandel looking tentative, unnecessarily though. Yeah, the commander he's got to worry about is Pissions at the moment, who's having to retreat actually. Kickass pulling his commander forward as well. Mantis destroying the ledge. Both of those land factories are going to go down as a result. He's bringing up the Auroras behind to deal with his Mantis, but that is not how you deploy Auroras at all, especially not against the quick firepower of a Mantis squad. All of those Auroras are going to go down. Captain Molly really does need to bring up the commander. Is still back, all the way back here. Trying my very best to keep a control of my very sensitive mouse. I should have changed that before I started casting, but never mind. Bring it down to the yellow at the moment. It's 7,500 health. I don't really see those Mantis finishing the commander off. I don't think there's quite enough, but Kickass's commander is coming in to sort of try and finish the job. Captain Molly bringing finally some forces with Sunbird as well to try and counter Master Mandel's reinforcements coming in from the western side. Maybe, I don't know whether this is something to be worried about. Pission's gone in quite deep. He's lost everything in terms of this quadrant here. That land factory is going to go as well. He's starting to dip into the red. He might be able to get himself a rank of veteran, see if he keeps firing. He is firing at the wrong thing. For veterancy, he does need his first rank. He's popped him back up into the yellow. What an absolute cluster of units. It's pretty much a huge amount of units going on. He's dipped into the red. Kickass at the moment. Oh, is he going to keep pursuing? But dipping into the red. Piston's finding himself in a bit of trouble here. My goodness, we're not even at the 10-minute mark. Is he going to go down? Dropping down to 200 health. Has he been caught out? Oh no! We didn't make it to the first 10-minute mark. 9 minutes and 29 seconds. Pissions the Great has been defeated in a... got the right gun but no left gun, unfortunately. Yeah, well played indeed. Kickass sensing the opportunity with a bit of help from Master Mandel as well. I'm afraid Team 2 take the first hit in terms of players. It would appear that the 4-commander squadron over here, the 2v2, is continuing as is. The Kickass seems to be fairly happy with that. He hasn't actually, funnily enough, got any vet from that, but I don't think he had enough units to shoot at for veterancy. So I've got to split the screen to keep an eye on a couple of things at the moment. No, Nibolowski, that is not how you do it. That's how you do it there. Keep an eye on the everlasting battle going on over here, and sort of keep track of what is going on over here as well. Kickass, got a few Sky Slammers defending himself there. Just want to see if there's any counter push, which I can't really see there is being. Whole load of Cerberus turrets firing. Horribly weak, disgusting point defense that they are, but the one thing they are good at doing is chucking lasers over a huge amount of distance, which I'm afraid the Seraphim point defense, despite having a fairly decent range, there's not a consistent rate of fire. Cerberus, great numbers melting pretty much everything. And as soon as you see a squadron of Mercies over here to the right, which I'm actually quite glad I've spotted, is that going to have an effect on Kickass? He's one Mercy strike. Oh no! Oh, I can't believe that worked. I thought I called the Mercy symbol on the right hand side. I'm actually quite glad I did split the screen to catch what had happened there. And only 2 minutes later, Team 1 lose their first player as well. What a disappointing thing for Kickass. He had just taken his opposite number, just reinforcing himself. To be taken out by Mercy's Captain Molly there, absolutely phenomenal thinking, really very good. Hitting the wrong button once again, proving the pure amateur that I am when it comes to shoutcasting. Master Mandel taking advantage of the fresh new space that he has acquired. There's a lot of mass points here, however, that have been taken out. It does look as if Memph has got a far greater control over his area than MuSick certainly has of his up here. Team 2 doing a fairly good job of keeping the mass points down. You look at the mass income from both teams. Sui actually really struggling, only on 25. Captain Molly 49, so Sui really is struggling on mass at the moment, which is pretty shocking. Bring this back up to +1 and get a bit of a move on with what's going on up here. Memph having to be pushed back by the Cerberus turrets and the Cerberus fire. Sui's taking out straggling point defense in forms of oblivions from MuSick. Unfortunately, due to the relief of the land, just ploughing laser beams into the side. Is there more of a pathetic sight than a point defense not making it over? All that technology and they still can't manage to make it over the hill. Great stalemate at the moment, although I'm not entirely sure as to why, where has that commander gone? Where is Sunbird's commander? Looking around the map at the moment. Ah, in the water, there we are. So I'm not entirely sure why Sunbird at the moment is not driving home the advantage in terms of numbers. Both Memph and Sunbird. Yeah, the attack ping has gone down. The commander is going to emerge out of the water, hoping to catch MuSick off guard. MuSick sensing the danger is beginning to retreat. There's a few Tech 2 Swift Winds up and about as well. It does, yeah, that is the gun upgrade on Sunbird's commander. Very good in terms of what's packing on that com there. It's got the personal stealth. Keep up where we're going here. And the accelerator. Oh no! What on earth happened there? I don't know whether that was another Mercy strike. Nothing's being said in chat. I don't have a clue what happened there. I'm sure when I look back on the cast I'll be able to see. I don't even know which commander it was was taken down. It was Sunbird. I'm at a little loss for words. There's a massive income. Trying to detect whether there's any remaining forces to give me an idea whether... Got Aeon on the back here. Could have been another Mercy Strike. Well, anyway, Sunbird paying the price of pulling forward too quickly. I was almost certain then that was going to be a bit of a breakthrough. Has to be said though, with the very big lack of opposition, we do have a few pillars going down here, but I don't feel as if Master Mandel has taken advantage, especially if we zoom in down here. There's not a great deal. There's some tactical missile defense down here, but there's not a great deal. Apart from Captain Molly's commander, I do not know why there isn't a stream of units coming through the land bridge. Is that wall really that inconvenient? Needs to destroy one of those walls to try and get through, or get some amphibious units or something to drive home the advantage. We do have a stack of pillars moving down, which is actually very good thinking. He's brought them around here to avoid the wall system. Managed to surpass the Ilshivers that Memph has. Would appear as Memph has got some missile launchers which will be able to deal with the defences in the form of Cerberus turrets. Some Zappers though dealing with that far better than the terrible tactical missile defence the UEF get the Zappers. A fairly successful pillar run down here. Master Mandel making good use of himself all of a sudden. And a nice pillar formation taking out bits of build capacity at the back of Team 2's base. Trying to get a view on what's going on. Splitting those pillars quite nicely, although I think that T1 point defense is going to sort out the issue in terms of the base. Without Sunbird's help, I'm afraid that it has allowed... Mandel doesn't seem to be feeling that threatened at all by Captain Molly. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. There seems to be no action at all happening on the right hand side. Molly seems to be probably teching this, judging by certainly not in terms of mass or anything. MuSick streaming ahead in terms of the eco game. And look at that, that is a chunky commander of Memph. He has been upgrading. He has got the nano repair system on there, he's got the Tech 2, and he's got the gun upgrade. So that is a stocky commander. He hasn't, I believe, got any veterancy on that commander as of yet. Which he certainly will do if he takes out a few of these units. We've got a move command here going down on Memph's commander. Kick-ass noticing. He does have significant amount of hit points on that commander. Missile launchers and Sui is coming in. Sui looks that he wants to retreat. I don't blame him. A large incursion. Memph having dropped 4,000 hit points already, but that proxy base is starting to fall bit by bit. Look at that. That's just a sheer amount of Seraphim power wailing. If any of you have seen my top 10 unit videos, you'll know my absolute love of the Seraphim Sui. Just a fantastic, accurate, brilliant unit that it is. Raining hell down, especially in groups. We have a group of Mantis coming in to try and sort out what is really the longer range units that Memph has. Huge run by of pillars as well. I do feel I'm sorry for Memph. He's on his own at the moment. He's trying to balance really a fight on 3 fronts, especially if MuSick decides to get involved as well. So Ilshiv is trying to prevent that pillar run by. In my opinion, the superior unit there, which is the Ilshiver, should be able to halt the pillars. Just a sheer numerical advantage. We'll look at a healthy pillar running by here, stocking at 1,500 hit points. It certainly has a huge deficit compared to the 2,500 Ilshiver. A drop at the moment from Memph. I can't tell whether that's going to be build capacity. Is that build capacity? Slowly zooming in. Yes, it is. A Tech 2 engineer to give some support, possibly to the commander trying to re-establish. Memph nearly back up to full health with a 1 veterancy stamp on his commander. Surprisingly, he's not bringing these forces forward in aid, so that commander is going to have to soak up a lot of the punishment. Sui's commander knocking out some Cerberus turrets to try and push Memph back. A big, huge overcharge into the point defense Cerberus. Has to be careful. There's a huge amount of hit points coming off Memph at the moment. I'm sure he's going to balance his incursion well. You can see he's dodging as much as he can. Nice big overcharge going into the Tech 2 power generator, which is at the forefront of that shield. A few pillars as well, trying to stream in. It's definitely killer mad Mandel at the moment, most certainly. Still not a great deal of going on down here. I think Molly's just holding the fort. As Mandel's bringing his forces around this way. He has some Percivals coming out on the field at the moment, so that's probably what he's been concentrating on, is getting the tech. Keep an eye on this over here to see who comes out on top. Memph balancing incredibly well his commander. Sui will have to come all the way around here to escape if he does want to. He is supported by a huge amount of Vipers. Mobile missile unit does pack quite a wallop when you have quite a few of them. A huge range advantage on them as well. Memph not giving up. He's got his second bit of veterancy. He's got Cerberus turrets wailing him on him at the back there, and those missile launchers are going to be rendered fairly ineffective against a commander that is moving at the rate that he is. Big overcharge going in from Memph at the moment. He's got to be careful he doesn't get caught out by any units coming on the right hand side here. There's a move command going down on him. I don't know whether he has bitten off more than he can chew. I'm hoping not. He's overcharging within an inch of his life. Kick-ass advising despite being ejected out of the game. Oh my god! Kaz said he's got 6 more units if he wants to get another bit of veterancy, but those Cerberus turrets are ranging him at the moment. He has to be careful. A single strike from a strategic bomber, which we know Mandel at the moment does have the ability to strive into Tech 3 technology, and Sui defeated. Jeez. 2 commanders taken out. I don't know whether, again, what on earth that was done by. I don't know whether that was just the sheer weight of units. Some Ilshevers in that pack. Sui ejected out of the game just after 22 minutes. Concentrating so much on Memph's commander unnecessarily, perhaps he has managed to push Sui out of the game. So it is all even Stevens again. We find ourselves with a 2v2. Percivals, as wonderful units as they are, you don't want to put them side by side, especially with a commander. Oh, what a waste that can overcharge. Oh dear. We do have some strap bombers out. Percival's managed to make it all the way down to Memph's base, but that's not going to make any kind of incursion. Quietness befell the land of Supreme Commander. That strap bomber going after the incursion of the Percivals that are happening here. Stocky unit, 9,300 health, but against a superior air force it's not going to last that much longer. Interestingly, a Navy HQ down here. I'm not recommending to build any battleships, that's for sure. You're only going to be able to get so far. Unless you, of course, have the cheeky Cyber Navy. Their spiders coming off, but we do have a Galactic Colossus come out. Memph noticing the threat of the GC, and that's a fairly big deal. Captain Molly saying, yeah, that is certainly a problem. How are they reacting to it? Yathota being strung up immediately to deal with that threat, but a Yathota alone is not going to be enough. You'll see the 67,000 hit points, and in my opinion, an inferior weapon compared to the near 100,000 hit points of the Galactic Colossus, bringing back all of his Ilshevers and Zuis at the moment to make sure that they're not caught out in terms of veterancy. Keep an eye on that GC. More like the Circle of Death. He's got some Spectres able to cover off his northern flank. An accumulation of strategic bombers could help Memph out at the moment. It'll be interesting to see where MuSick deploys that GC2, where he sees the threat, as to whether or not he'll loop around and go straight for the base, or whether he wants to clear out this foothold. Memph managed to establish himself. He does look like he's gone for the foothold, which does buy Memph a little bit of time. Puree on firepower coming through there. Huge amount of firepower. But that Ythota put up in absolute record time. We're only on +1 at the moment, so Memph has certainly got the economy to support it with 213 mass income, which is quite staggering, but 357 compared to MuSick, which is technically his opposite, but it pales in comparison. Huge amount of power as well at 11,000. It looks as though MuSick really is just running away on his own right here in terms of his economy. He's economized incredibly well. Now where on earth is that GC going to go? Of course, with the Galactic Colossus, given its size, it can just step over the wall, so it can go pretty much anywhere it fancies. Memph perhaps noticing as well that the Tsar up here is going to become an issue later on in the game. To kill Sui, yes, so... Aha! So it might be that Captain Molly used the strategic bombers to get rid of Sui. That's probably what I missed. GC taking the long way around. I'm not sure whether I would have done that. I think going for the heart, especially if you even need loop down here and grab that build capacity down there, would have given it a lovely bit of veterancy. But that Ythota is ready, still with a huge amount of deficit. There are some shield coverage coming in for that Ythota, which would help it win the battle. GC being very tentatively walked around at the moment. Some anti-air going on, and still nothing. Absolutely no action over this side whatsoever. And I'm wondering why neither player has done anything. There's a huge amount of units just sat here. Blazes, and most of these things are, Tech 1, Tech 2. Can be put to better use. I mean, certainly. I mean, what is up here that could possibly stop? Nothing at all. But I digress. That Ythota has looking as if it's wanting to engage, but still can't because of the relief of the land. Percival supporting that GC at the back. I have to say, fair play to MuSick. He's managed to position himself very, very well. There is now a Galactic Colossus coming out from Captain Molly, and a Fat Boy is coming down from the northern aperture. Master Mandel as well. A move ping going down on that Galactic Colossus. All of these units basically being brought back into the base. That Ythota, I don't know what. I honestly don't know what the Ythota is doing. I can imagine he's going to string him up here now, given that this Galactic Colossus can hopefully get rid of the threat. There's quite a few Percivals in that pack, so he has to be careful what he's doing. A move command going in on him, an attack command as well. Looking to take care of the numerical advantage. Captain Molly has to be careful, very, very careful. An exchange of fire from both GCs at the moment. Oh, watch the hit points melt off, but the strap bomb has come in, and that is going to maybe give a cutting bit of difference. Oh, who would you bet on winning this engagement? Is it going to be MuSick? Is it going to be Captain Molly? A Ythota coming in. And I think the Ythota is going to just about tip the tide of the balance. Both the GCs will go down because of the Percivals behind, but it will be that Ythota which will make the difference. Coming in just in time. And that Fat Boy is slowly making its way towards the bottom of Captain Molly's base. Why on earth these units haven't moved up and around? There is very little defending. They're all mass points. It's just beyond. I understand there's always a lot to think about. But the Tsar completion up here with a few dotted ASFs around. If we bring this back to normal speed, Captain Molly 20 ASFs compared to MuSick's. Those are not 29, so it is going to be close as to whether or not he's got to make sure that these ASFs are used. The run by that Ythota, unfortunately, is not going to see the light of day because of the Tsar. And the Fat Boy has began to open up against the destroyers, which, being honest, I'm not really sure whether we're really worth the investment. Probably He would have funneled that into something more. I mean, still, these units. I mean, it's too late now. We have the Percival cover here. Still could have been used a lot earlier, in my opinion. And there goes the Yathota up north. What can I do? They will kill my air like that. There seems to be a certain inevitability in what Captain Molly is saying. I am actually curious to see. They got a Yathota still in there, still stocked. It's going to be no good against a Tsar. Now would have been the time to strike, but the Air Force has missed opportunity again. I see Captain Molly bringing out the units when needed, but 2 bits of veterancy on that Tsar as well. I just can't not see that number of ASFs taking it down. In my opinion, could have done a lot more damage sooner. But it looks though that Tsar now with 3 ranks of veterancy. That is going to be a huge, huge hit towards Memphi's base. The commander of Memphi, even with its stocky, curiously 18,000 hit points. Not sure why it's devolved, but certainly has. And Memphi ejected from the game at 31 minutes. Has fought heroically. If I'm honest with you, has carried much of Team 2's efforts, but without any kind of real support. Captain Molly's best efforts. It does look though this is the end. Poor Captain Molly. I have been incredibly critical. I am not a very good half player myself, so I shouldn't be in a position to criticise, but fairly unfortunate. The depth charges from the Tsar, and now the ground fire will eventually finish off what is left of Captain Molly. And that experimental, oh my goodness, 4,000 hit points. Are they going to get it with the drop? Here comes the drop. Oh, and there we go. I've blinded most of my viewers. Captain Molly is defeated. MuSick running away with it. Thank goodness in terms of economy, most certainly. A good game had by all. Fantastic. In terms of huge range of gameplay in that. My most valuable player, I'm going to have to give to Memphi. I felt as though, although MuSick played incredibly well, really very well indeed, and had a huge impact in terms of changing the tide of the entire game, I did feel as if Memphi, under quite a lot of pressure from Sui, MuSick, and Master Mandel, managed to hold on for quite a while. But thank you ever so much for watching. Really appreciate all of those who have stuck with the channel. I will endeavour to try and put up more casts in the future. But by all means, if you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. And you guys need to comment. Please leave more comments. They could be good, they could be bad, they could be about waffles for all I care. But it's good to see activity on the channel. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching.